I was born in a village, a temple town. There were always a lot of pilgrims that were coming into that town, that village. Today it has become part town. There were shortage of resources, especially water, and also it was wasted. It used to be wasted. There was a lot of wastewaters and waste that used to generate around these pilgrims. There were also problems around hygiene. And there was a lot of food waste, everything. These were the days 60 years back. When I was growing up, in my school days, I used to see all that around me. The other side, my grandmother, who was very disciplined in life, and also used to encourage us around hygiene practices. My parents, especially my mother, very close to nature. She always taught us nature means God. Panchabhuta. All, that is the type of respect we used to have for nature. I imbibed the values and the practices that she was doing at my home, when cooking, when disposing those wastes, when harvesting the rainwater. So many of those areas, practices I still remember. When the rain was coming, she used to ensure that the entire surface water, she used to ensure it is stocked and it is kept, for some time, because groundwater was a serious problem then. So this was not the problem just in one village, but most of the villages in our country. So with those sort of backgrounds and backups, something in mind for a young kid who wanted to aspire and who wanted to become something big, I entered into my journey of engineering management graduate. I was, very happy. There was a dream that I have to build something. I have to make a name for myself. I have to build something for my nation which I should be remembered for. So I felt that this itself, the cleaning, the ensuring that the hygiene in place, if I could make that happen, not just for one village, but for my society and my country and beyond, then, that's what actually I was aspiring for. This engineering degree helped me, actually. It ensured that it gave me the knowledge, and later on, after working for some time, it transformed into the skills that I needed. Then I got onto the platform to see that what's happening. So let me tell you, I started working with industry, I started working with hospitals, and also with municipalities and various individuals. I could see that waste or wastewater, there was no priority of treating and disposal because, there were no proper regulations. Everything was openly dumped, and there were no facilities also. Very bad situations. That's when, I thought, we must now change. Now, I started, working, tried to put in the best of the solutions for waste management. We have built India's first medical waste management facility. We have built India's first hazardous waste facility for industries. We have built India's first integrated municipal waste management center, integrated recycling center, India's first pharma city. For especially, around Hyderabad, I used to work very closely with pharma industry. They were facing huge problems. They were giving a lot of employment. They were paying huge taxes. There were huge exports. But they were lacking a lot of basic facilities. So I felt that was the time. So we conceptualized these projects. And today, if you see, they have become the best models for the country. Not alone technically, but also economically, they have proved to be the best for all the stakeholders. With that today, around the group which I have founded 40 years ago, it is treating more than 1 crore 10 lakh tons of waste every day. More than 5 lakh beds of hospitals waste is treated every day. More than 11 lakh tons of hazardous industrial waste is treated every day. And this has, across the country and also globally in more than 16, 17 countries actually. Today, we are operating more than 5,000 fleet and more than 50% of it is transforming into EV type. And also we are generating more than 350 million units of power every day, which generate, entire street power of Hyderabad. That's the type of green energy we are producing. We are employing more than 30,000 people across the group and have more than 50,000 clients. So now, if you see what was there 40 years ago, today, it has come out as a major industry, which was completely clueless, directionless, lawless, has now transformed, everything into a perfect shape where there is, something, people started believing that, yes, here is a business model, here is a model which can clean our country, which can keep our environment hygiene. So that's where around that, the entire growth happened. And now I'm happy to say that there is a huge, confidence in the system that this is the industry now. And if you see globally, this is now, especially in the developed world, it has now grown as a multi-billion-dollar industry, and also a lot of respect now started getting into this sector. What is it now? India's growth story for next 30, 40 years, especially taking our Prime Minister's goal of Viksit Bharat. So that's where all of us have to get united. That's where I see huge opportunity. We almost have to build 75% of India, we still have to build. While we have to build, we are also seeing that our economy is going to go from close to $4 trillion to $40 trillion in the next 40 years. So that's the type of opportunity we are all going to see. Certainly, this sort of growth, especially 75% of India's to be built, is going to emanate a huge carbon. It is going to create huge environmental problems. These are the challenges where I see a huge opportunity. The point I wanted to mention here is that the net zero emissions, that what we have committed to the globe, by 2070 we have to be net zero carbon. So this is a very, very, very important thing. While we have to grow, we have to achieve huge growth targets, we also have to bring down our carbon emissions, which very few countries have done in the past. They have grown, but they have already destroyed a lot of environment. But India is already in its right path. We are now already for 2030, there are targets that are built. We are trying to work in that direction. In that pattern, if you look at to achieve the growth, to decrease the carbon, to keep the environment safe, we have some more challenges that are going to come. That is because to catch up this growth, actually, there are consumption patterns that are increasing, and because of that, waste dynamics are also changing. What we saw 40 years ago and what we are seeing today, it's a completely different challenge. The point what I see is that if you see a lot of our food waste, today whatever we order on e-commerce, itna aa jata hai, itna waste ho jata hai. So if you look at the same thing, on the electrical and electronic waste also. So we used to have very little electrical and electronic waste. There is a lot of precious metal inside. So there is a huge amount of waste that is coming both from our domestic waste as well as for the electronic waste. This is where huge challenge, apart from our medical, industrial, construction, demolition, and other types of so many other waste. These are the two areas where we are going to have a challenge. Especially, I want to give you some figures. By 2030 itself, in next 5 years, our municipal waste, we are going to increase from 0.3 kg per capita today to almost 1 kg per capita, 1 kg per day. So we are also going to, what is it culminating to? Almost 180 million tons of waste that India is generating today per year is going to go up to 360 million tons. More than that, is going to go, without addressing its treatment. So we have a challenge. More than 200-300% of waste, is going to generate, and also electronic waste also from almost close to 35 lakh tons. Now it's going to go up to 120 lakh tons, by the year 2030. Those are the type of things that we have. So what does it call? See, the waste management techniques that we had in the past, now we have to convert that into resource resilience and ensuring that, India as a country, whatever this transformation journey, we are wasting a lot of material. We must stop wasting of those materials and we have to create value around all these wastes, and that is what we need to really look at it. If you look at all the municipal solid waste, most of it, paper, plastic, waste oils, used oils, solvents, batteries, all these areas, there is a lot of things that we could recover. Same thing, on the precious metal side, from around electrical, electronic waste, all the precious metals, especially 100% of our cobalt, nickel, lithium, we are importing. Almost 90% of our gold and silver we are importing. More than 60% of our copper we are importing. The plastics and other things that, more than 80% of our plastic, material in the form of crude we are importing. If you see, most of it is going into the waste. Especially on the e-commerce platforms, whatever we are getting, all that is just getting dumped. And also, if you see the municipal waste and other waste that are coming, they are just getting into the landfills. We can't afford this anymore. We have to certainly look at getting into creating value to these wastes. This is actually the great opportunity, as I told you, and all this we have to plan around recycle, reuse, recover, reduce, and also upcycle. Those are the opportunities around which we will have to start planning it out. And we are working out. How are we working it out? Ensuring that all the stakeholders are brought in onto one page, especially the generators, waste generators, whether it is household or industry or otherwise, any other manufacturing areas, everybody we have to bring it on platform. We are working out methods to see that how the regulators are educated and what are the opportunities for business people in this, opportunities for financiers and investors in this platform. So for all that, I started talking, nowadays, the successful models what we have built in the past, that should become a platform, the culture and values with which we have showcased this to the world. We have to how India is going to transform in the name carbonomics. How when we are going to grow 10 times, how we are going to bring down our carbon. The carbon that we are going to generate around every activity, we have to put into place. Either it is in the product or in the process or in the project, we have to ensure that the carbon is captured, carbon is stored, carbon is used. We have to count, and also we have to ensure that at every phase of our life, carbon neutrality patterns. This is as a citizen, every one of us, we have to contribute to see that how these methods are informed, required material is provided for as an education, and also it has to be communicated effectively. So this is what going to tell us that we have to go around zero waste and circularity. The circularity that we are going to bring in is going to be climate resilient, we have to be resource resilient, and also economic resilience, around which we have to start planning it out. The implementation, what we are going to do this, has to start from us, from all of us here. So first of all, we have to start looking at how do I say I am refusing to take more material, I am refusing to accept more, when it comes, it could be food at home or it could be clothing. We have to start looking at, because if the current consumption patterns, if it goes, we just, this one globe is not sufficient for this population. We need 7, 8 more globes. That is the type of nature requirements that we are consuming today. So for that, all of us, our patterns, of consumption patterns, we need to change. We also have to rethink how those changes can be brought in. Our elders have taught us, we have to go back to the roots. We have to see it at every level what we are doing, how to reduce our consumption levels, how to reduce our intake, inputs at all the materials I am doing. We have to start now, plan it out. When I was coming back, I wanted to see that, the air condition in which, the room in which I stopped and I came. I started this, this experience not today, from my early ages, and that is the pattern, around which, I feel all of us have to start working. And also, if you look at the complete material we have to reuse, and then we have to repair most of our materials. How to do that? We have to really start planning it out. And then, every material has a purpose. How do I get a repurpose for those materials? And then get into the recycle, and then get into recovery, and then get into the treatment, and then only the disposal. So that means a huge opportunity for all of us. I see the India around carbonomics. I think for every one of us sitting here, we are all known for knowledge, we are all known for values, we are all known for intelligence, we know for technology, and especially the information technology, financial engineering, India is recognized for. At the same time, the challenges, especially our country and also the global markets that are throwing, is providing a huge opportunity in the environmental space. All the areas what I have told, in every part of it, there is an opportunity for every stakeholder. For a citizen, there is an opportunity. For an industry, manufacturing industry, there is an opportunity. For the regulator, there is an opportunity. For an investor, financer, and the operator, and the developers of this facility, there is a huge opportunity. I see a lot of entrepreneurship support that we can bring in. India can generate not just technocrat-driven enterprises, but also sustainability-driven entrepreneurship. We can offer this solution in a best way possible because we believe nature is God. We believe that the best practices that our country has taught us can become global standards and methods. To emulate these models, I think we have a global platform, and this is the right time for India. If we can showcase the best of these practices, I say that here is the opportunity. I'm very confident global market is open up, and this is billions and trillions of dollars opportunity. Patience, sacrifice, and hard work is going to take us there. Thank you very much.